What up, guys? Welcome to the Freshandfit Podcast. We got Hotep Jesus in the house, man. Yeah. Hotep speaks. This is going to be a lit one, guys. Let's get into it, baby. Man, this is going to be a special one, guys. The past day or so, and got a lot to learn about each other. So this interview is about to be like litty, now that we know a couple of things, man. And let me tell you guys, son, there's a lot more than meets the eye with Hotep Jesus, man. And I know some people are probably wondering, well, yo, Myron, how'd you and Hotep meet up? So as I always do when we have special guests on, I like to tell you guys how we met and everything like that, because I think that's very important to build onto the story. We pop a goose out here, baby. So what happened was, as you guys know, once again, my good friend, close friend, Donovan Sharp, we have a panel show called The Seven that we have every Sunday at 8 p.m. on Donovan Sharp's YouTube channel. Please go subscribe and like his videos. Good friend of mine. And he actually reached out to Hotep to do a one-on-one show with Donovan. And after that, he brought Hotep on the panel as a special guest, to discuss entrepreneurship and whatever it may be like that. And it was a great discussion. I was like, I kind of saw a side I didn't know, like, well, let's keep it a buck. Like a lot of people know Hotep for, reparations or Joe Rogan or TimCast IRL, whatever. But like, there's way more that meets the eye with this guy, guys. So I'm really excited to get into this interview. But after we chopped it up there, like, I immediately, I followed him on Twitter, right? Now that I got to know him a lot better, I was like, hey, bro, we want to bring you down to Miami, man. He was like, bet, I'm down, And next thing you know, we're here. Who's gonna say no to that? Yeah, and then he was kicking it with us and Kevin Samuels. Kevin just left back to Atlanta. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. And yeah, man, it was lit. And then we actually hung out with Hotep until like 4 a.m. chopping it up.
Yeah.
So
the guy's a marketing genius, guys.
Stuff. And we're definitely gonna get into that. But like, now that I got the basic stuff out the way, you guys know how we met. Who kind of Hotep is. I want him to tell you the people himself who he really is. Hotep, can you tell us who is Hotep Jesus and what is Hotep Nation?
I am a soul. I am a light being from a spiritual dimension, and this vehicle or body that you see is just that. It's just a vehicle to navigate this third dimensional plane of reality, and I operate like that. A lot of people wonder how I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do, and it's because I am now, I don't know how serious you can take this next comment. This is what I like to believe. This is the only explanation I have for myself. And the reason why I had to create this explanation for myself is because you could be born anywhere in the world. You could be born to billionaires. You could be born in, some impoverished nation like South Sudan or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was always wondering, like, how did I get parents that got money? Mm-hmm. And some people didn't. Like, that's a good ass lottery draw.
Yeah.
So the only explanation I had was I must be a reincarnated ascended master, because I understand this 3D realm too well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes so well that it scares me.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Oh, that's the
phone. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes so well that it scares me, but now I understand what's happening. I'm a light being, and so I operate mostly through intuition and instinct, and use the intellectual side of me for the manifestation of these inklings that come from the other world. But that's who I am. I am a reincarnated ascended master.
That was probably one of the best explanations I've ever heard when it came to, can you tell us who such and such is?
I mean, that's the only answer I can explain, because I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know who I am. I don't. And like you said before, you like, there's more to Hotep. Like I always tell people, I have personality order, not disorder. I have personality order. I have 24 different personalities I can access at any different time. So, and different talents and
for sure.
and knowledge and I'm a polymath in many ways and an autodidact. So I'm various things. So when people ask me what I am, I'm like, where you want to start? So I think the best place to start is where the power comes from, and the power comes from God.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about Hotep Nation? Because you got like a
Nation.
cult following almost on Twitter, Instagram, everything like that. People wearing the gear, everything like that, you know.
Yeah, we're a gang.
gang.
Hotep Nation was something that was formed as a response to some vitriolic comments from the left, from black feminists and Black Lives Matter types, right around the time that Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and them were murdered. Our response was quite different from how a black liberal would handle these things. You know, I'm looking at it like, well, do we own our communities? Do we own our police? You know, what are some economic issues we can handle here? And they were like, oh, shut up, Hotep, shut up, you're a Hotep. And I'm like, you can't be a Hotep. Like, I wasn't Hotep Jesus at this time. I'm like, you can't be a Hotep. That makes no sense. And they kept saying it and saying it. So I was like, well, if you guys are going to take something that I understand that has tons of ancestral history and turn it into a pejorative, somebody's got to stop that. Somebody has to rescue this term from, you guys just using as some sort of lambasting tool. So that's what we did, man. We grabbed the term and exalted it and saved it and rescued it and put it in its proper place. And I'm happy to be a representative of Hotep Nation and the Hotep community as a whole. And shout out to some of my mentors like Dr. Cabo Kamene Hiawatha and Shaka Akmos, who have basically how can you say endowed and praised and said it's okay for me to use the term Hotep in the way that I'm using it, because there are a lot of people that in the Hotep, quote unquote, Hotep community that were like, oh, you can't use that name. You can't put that name next to Jesus because Hotep comes from Heru from ancient Egypt. So they were saying Heru is the predecessor to Jesus. So there's some confusion that's happening there. And I just don't see it that way. I see it as something quite different, which I'm not going to get into now, but that's the genesis of Hotep. And today we operate bringing awareness to economics and putting together kids programs for fintech programs for kids. So bringing them into the financial and tech world.
Nice. And we're going to definitely touch on that here in a second.
We got a quick super chat here.
Okay.
So we got Mass, $10. He says, my favorite fitness guy interviews my favorite mindset guy. What a gift. High vibes all around.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Mask. And thank you, Fresh, for making sure that we shout out the super chats, because I was about to get really into the interview. So thank you.
Shout out to Mask, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Mask for that.
He's in my Saturday class.
Okay, awesome.
Yo, well, I want to ask real quick, man. So I heard the name Hotep Jesus, right? And I was like, yo, dude, this is a kind of crazy name. But then when you break it down like that, it makes sense. Why
somebody gave me that name.
Someone gave you that name, right? But then I asked a question, right? So for example, if I didn't know who you were, right? And I heard that name and I saw you, what do people come at you like? What's like the response? Is it like negative? Is it like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that?
It's more like shocked. Like, what the fuck? Like,
okay.
What did you just say? How do you spell that?
Yeah.
That's usually what I get. In fact, when we first started out the whole Hotep movement, somebody was like, that's going to be an utter failure because the term Hotep isn't marketable. What that person didn't know is I know marketing like the back of my hand.
Yes.
I wrote the book on it, and
Dominate Twitter. What's the name of that book?
Dominate Twitter.
Dominate Twitter.
So, which is really a book on marketing. It just focuses on Twitter. But he said it wasn't marketable. I'm like, you don't know how this shit works.
Yeah.
Right.
And here we are today, Hotep. I put it on Joe Rogan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm here at Freshandfit. So, some people are confused at first, but you just explain it to them, tell them to glue into the culture and lock in. The name Hotep Jesus was given to me because I had gone through a spiritual awakening, and the way I was tweeting was very like high vibrational and spiritual and guru-ish. And somebody was like, what do you think you are? Some sort of Hotep Jesus? I was like, ooh,
I'll take that.
Yeah. I went to Twitter and immediately just changed my display name. Like Hotep Jesus. That's who I am. That's the new name. And it's been like that since past, I want to say 4 or 5 years.
Bam.
Fire.
And I'll say this too, because Hotep has like Guys, like huge on Twitter, which I just retweeted. I barely use Twitter, guys, but right now I'm like actually using Twitter because this is his arena. And we're broadcasting live on Twitter as well, guys. Twitter, Facebook. This podcast is going to go up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are there, guys. So make sure you get on Anchor or Acast. We're there. Freshandfit Podcast. Search us up. But that's going to bring me to my next question. You brought up a point about this. We're going to, I guess, get a tiny bit controversial. Black Lives Matter. Obviously, this year we saw an emergence in the movement with the protest that went down in the Midwest. I won't say where or the name because we don't want to get killed by the YouTube algos. But you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. What's your views on that? Especially in today's day and age where it got reinvigorated back in May.
I would like people to go to this website, which I'm pulling up right now. It's called blmchapterstatement.com.
blmchapterstatement.com.
Yeah. blmchapterstatement.com. And the heading text here says, "It is time for accountability." Now, the chapters here, I'll include the chapters before I tell you what it is. Black Lives Matter Philly, Indy, Black Lives Matter DC, Black Lives Matter Chicago, NJ, Vancouver, Washington, OKC, San Diego, Hudson Valley, 5280, whatever 5280 is. So these are different chapters, local chapters of Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And they've recently come out and said that they ain't got no money from Black Lives Matter Global Network, the mothership. No money has trickled down to the chapters. And they said they've been asking about transparency for years now. Mm-hmm. Where's the money? Where's the money, Black Lives? Which camera is we at?
We're probably, that one's you.
Yo, where's the money, Black Lives Matter? Where's the money? So the money's been, a huge question mark for these people a part of these chapters. And that's sad because it doesn't make it to the street level. And that's where people really need that money to help these communities.
Right.
Now, the funny thing is there's pretty much a wall between me and most of Black Twitter because when I was exposing Black Lives Matter back in the day, they just basically blocked me. They were like, "Oh, you're just hating, da 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 da." I'm like, "Nah, I know a scam when I see a scam." Like, one of my superpowers is reading people.
Yeah.
And
you read me good, man. You told me I was a Libra.
Yeah, I read him and I read him.
Our producer Chris, he read him too.
Yeah, like that's my superpower. I could just read people. It doesn't take much. Just, a couple of conversations, watch your body language, and I know exactly what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? So when I seen these people and I seen how they was operating and the things they chose to speak about, I'm like, oh, this is a scam. This is one big old.
One of their top guys got arrested in Atlanta, right, by the FBI a couple months ago. I remember.
Yeah. So, for
scamming people out of money.
I can't remember the time when we had a Black movement that wasn't controlled by the white liberal. So when I see these movements pop up and they become super famous, I'm very skeptical of them because usually Black power is blackballed. For example, when Farrakhan had two big marches in DC called the Million Man March, and both of them had complete media blackout.
Yep, of course.
So it's like one type of Blackness is to be hidden, and the other type of Blackness is to be applauded and purported and promoted and supported. But it's because they control that, and that's actually safe, and that's actually not going to change anything for anybody except for the communists.
Wait, Hotep, are you telling me that if I don't put a black screen on my Instagram post, that I'm not doing anything?
The only thing that black box is going to do for you is make other people realize how stupid you are.
Dude, I did a Blackout Tuesday and I hashtagged it too, man.
Yeah, somebody should have blacked out your eye.
Boom.
See, the funny part is some white people have to do it though.
Yeah.
For safety purposes. They had to put that black box. I remember one of my homies, he was like, I didn't put a black box up because I didn't know about it. And he said, I woke up the next morning and they were like, yo, what's up? Like, your shop isn't going to support Black Lives Matter. He's like, yo, I'm over here working and trying to make shit happen. I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
And they were mad. Like, you're not going to post a black box?
Yep.
He's like, For what?
Yeah.
What is that gonna do? I hire more black people than any of you. You know.
And for the listeners, I was trolling. I did not put a black box up. I was, but so okay, so let's
the white liberal
Mhm.
controls. The white liberal controlled the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement was completely controlled by white liberals who controlled the NAACP. In fact, W.E.B. Du Bois went to go visit the blacks down south. And the blacks down south said, hey, good to see you. You know, we like more funding from the government for our black schools. He was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're fighting for integration. They're like, yo, we really not trying to integrate. Just see if the government can fund us like they fund the white schools. Because they sending money to these white schools. Why can't we get some of that change? He like, nah, we need to integrate. And that was W.E.B. Du Bois, he didn't meet a black person until he's 20.
Yeah.
Rumor has it. He was half white, half black, raised completely white. Kind of like our last president.
Boom, boom.
So they always pick these mulatto types and people who have no connection to black people to lead us, and or dummies, you know, or people who like the spotlight, and they choose those people to lead us because they're going to do it for ego purposes. But the real agenda that needs to happen doesn't happen out loud. You know, the agenda happens when the cameras is off, the mics is off, the social media is away. That's when the real work starts. The real work is building an economy. The survival of the human race is based upon an economy. And black people, when you say this, the first thing they think of is capitalism, and capitalism is evil. But that's just their ignorance retaliating, because economics is as natural as trees. You know, how do you exchange goods and scarce goods and services amongst each other? That's something that just has to happen. Absolutely.
Communism doesn't work, and neither does socialism.
Yeah.
And you guys don't believe it. Look at Russia. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look at everywhere.
Yeah, where communism was,
Look at America now. You know, it's slowly deteriorating. Look what we had to deal with these lockdowns this year. That's the product of communism. You know, that for the safety of the few, we have to oppress the many.
Man, I want to ask a question. This might be a little bit controversial, but what's your thoughts on this whole lockdown? You think it was for control? You think it was for conspiracy? What do you think it's for? To control the financial markets?
Well, one of them is to consolidate business, so big business can gobble up small business.
Big facts.
So it's a consolidation economically.
Some of these businesses are too big to fail.
Yeah, and then you got like the big reset, event 201, and all the conspiracy theories that come along with that. But essentially, this was an acceleration of control, an acceleration of communism, socialism. They want to exercise their power and show you, like, if we want to tell you to put your mask on, not only are you going to put your mask on, but your colleague, your cohort is going to make you put that on. They're going to yell at you and say, "Where is your mask?"
Right.
You know, your associates are going to say, "We want a lockdown." Like, think of how many ignorant people out there are asking for lockdowns. I see black people like, "Oh, we need another lockdown," and I'm just like, "Come on, fucking." You know, so their plan is so effective that it's got your associates
doing the work for them.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny part about that too is, like, I ask the question all the time, right? So you go in a restaurant, right? You're wearing a mask. You go to the front by the hostess, right? Yes, sir. We will sit you down in 2 minutes, right? You're standing there. You go sit down. You take it off. What happened in that space of time? You walk into the table that would stop me from getting. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it.
So a lot of this comes down to people being afraid of losing their jobs. So, for example, if they run a test, and let's say an A/B test, and they said they tested these restaurants or the restaurants in this area, and they tested people in this area at this restaurant, and these people didn't come down with COVID, and these people did, and these people wore masks, and these people didn't, then they're going to say, all right, let's fire the people that made these decisions. So people are making really stupid decisions just to cover their ass, because if there's an outbreak, they can say, well, we tried everything. We told people wear a mask, and we did this and we did that, and we put the plexiglass up, even though that doesn't do shit. And we did this, and it's just people just trying to, in fact, an entire industry was born for being COVID-19 compliant. I mean, think of how many people had to pull meetings together to be COVID-19 compliant for, whatever.
Right.
I didn't mean to say that word. I meant to say stupid 19.
It's all good. It's all good.
So let's transition here, because I think a lot of people don't know this, but you had a pretty, you were involved in the music industry for quite some time.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then that led to you rubbing elbows with some of the top artists like 50 Cent, G Unit, etc.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this is gonna be a good interview, guys. This is what we're telling you. Like we're gonna go everywhere. Can you tell us a little bit about your rise through the music industry, your entrepreneurship through there, hanging out with 50 Cent, G Unit, Floyd Mayweather, all these people that you met?
Yeah, I think this goes back to 1997. I'm sitting in my computer room.
Bam.
And I got the homies over, and they're freestyling. Like my homies freestyling off the top of the dome, not written, just freestyling. I'm just like, wow, you're like making this up as you're doing it. It's like, I want to learn that art, but I don't want to be a rapper. I want to own a record label.
Bam. Dame Dash.
Yeah, I want to be the boss. Like, why would I want to rap? Like, I always looked at it like, why would I want to rap if the record label was making all the money? Right? So I started my record label. When I had the record label was going, it was like super successful, man. We had saw TV, the popular DJs, the clubs. I mean, the whole thing, man. We was really, really out there. Movies. We were really pushing it, man. We were working with Trash Naughty by Nature and a whole lot of different projects. Shout to Bank out in Newark, and Do It All out in Newark for putting that project together. It was just a great vibe, man. And then my artist got incarcerated, and but in the meantime, what happened was artists don't listen. They think they know everything and whatever. So I was getting frustrated as a record label owner anyway, and being the producer of things, because people just wouldn't listen, and I'm trying to tell them how to win, and they wouldn't do what I would say to win. So my other partner, he had a similar situation where he was more like the business mind, and his artist wouldn't listen to him. Well, lo and behold, when my artist got incarcerated, that person, whose name Demick, hit me up and said, yo, I'm about to shoot a music video in Orlando, Florida. Would you like to roll? And I'm like, man, I'm broke. Like, mortgage industry had crashed, and I was just down on my luck. And I was
like,
yeah, something like that. And he was like, yo, let's, come with me. And I'm like, all right, I ain't got no bread, but I'll roll. So we drove with him, his dad, and his friend, and his dad's friend. So we in the back seat, we kicking it. It take 20 hours to get to Florida by driving.
Yeah, it's the worst, man.
Yeah, so
anyone from the Northeast knows that struggle.
Yeah, so I mean, you hang out with somebody that long, you either going to become enemies or best friends.
Right.
So we became best friends, and on the way back, he was like, "Yo, you want to because I'm really, I'm a easygoing guy. I just roll the punches. Like, I don't really care about shit too much, So he was like, yo, you kind of cool, whatever. But he was like, yo, you want to make a group? I was like, yeah, I get a rap. You want me to rap? I'm like, sure, let's do it. Like, I ain't got nothing else to do. And it turned out to be, one of the greatest things we ever did. I mean, we did like 4 national tours. One of them was a monster truck tour. One of them was a tour we created. One of them, 2 of them were car show tours. We found that niche. Demick he's a fucking genius, man. Yeah, so and at the same time I had a blog. My blog had 7 writers, and that thing was moving. We were doing millions of hits a month, and because I was media, I was getting invited to all types of industry parties. And then the 50 Cent dropped the energy drink, so I immediately, the trick with blogging was to be fast with the stories. You had to be right first.
Yep.
So, I was one of the first people to cover that, if not the first to cover that energy drink. And
what was the name of the energy drink? I know he did the vitamin water.
I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay. Classified.
Yeah. So, so we they invited me out to the launch of that energy drink, and I got to the bus. I'm broke. I ain't got no money.
This is what, 03, 04?
This is this is
Oh no, this is way later.
2011, 2012, maybe. I don't remember. I gotta look at my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on a bus, and 50 Cent get on a bus, and they made me move because I thought I was slick. I'm like, I know 50 gonna sit here, so I'm gonna sit right here. And they were like, nah, you gotta move. So they moved me to the back, and then 50 gets on the bus, and Angela Yee is over here, and some other important people. So the bus pull off, and we in New York City.
It's one of those double-decker buses, right?
Yeah.
For the people that are like wondering what is he talking about on the bus, blah blah. It was like probably a promotion for that energy drink, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully wrapped, double deckers to the top. You're sitting on top of the bus. You know.
And it's a common tour they do for the people that don't know. They do a double-decker bus tour in Times Square for tourists and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm sitting on that thing, and it's just eerily quiet. And we pulled up at this light and stopped, and I'm looking at all the people, and in my head, I'm like, I know they don't know 50 Cent is sitting right there.
Oh, they didn't know.
Nah, people are just sitting on the line, because we're high up, so you're looking down at people.
Oh.
And I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, they don't know. I'm like, I should just jump up and say I'm on a bus with 50 Cent. I'm like, no, you're gonna get kicked off the bus. I'm like, nigga, but you broke, you ain't got nothing to miss. You ain't got nothing to lose. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to lose. Say it. So I jumped up, I was like, yeah, I'm on a bus with 50 Cent. And everybody looked.
Did you have your phone with you? Did you like record it?
Nah, they had film.
He had a film team with him.
Yeah, they had a film team and everything. So it was just pure excitement. Young kid, I'm used to touring. I'm used to being an MC. And then people rushed the bus. 50 stood up, started tossing energy drinks over the side of the bus. And then when the bus went to pull off, the marketing team was like, yo, come here. Put the shirt on me, put the hat on me. He was like, keep doing that. But I just felt like the vibe ain't here on this bus. Like,
yeah. I'm surprised they didn't recognize him. Like,
they should have had that.
Yeah.
So, make a long story short, I ended up becoming regional marketing director, handling the Northeast region of guerrilla marketing and digital marketing as well. Nobody there understood digital like me. In fact, man, I used to have to deal with the dumbest stuff, man. They used to say,
this is 2011, right? This is before social media.
Yeah, before social media got hot.
Yeah,
like
facts. Yeah.
So, for example, you got to remember at this time, I'm doing 30,000, 50,000 followers on Twitter. And I have meetings and they'd be like, can you make a spreadsheet of tweets? I'm like, a spreadsheet of tweets? You want me to predetermine what we should tweet about?
Yeah, that's stupid.
And they're like, yeah, we have to get them all approved and signed off on. I'm like, yo, by the time I write this tweet and you approve it, it's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah, facts. The whole reason why Twitter blew up is because it's spontaneous reactions to real-time events going on.
Yeah, you ain't got but an hour to get this thing in and you want to wait a week for the meeting. So I'm dealing with that type of ignorance.
Oh my God.
Surrounded.
Yeah.
And these people are all from Princeton and Harvard and Yale.
God.
And it was funny because, man, when the bosses would leave and go to lunch and everybody would rush my desk. The kid with no college degree.
Yep.
Right. And I'm 30. So, I have tons of experience writing label and blogging. So they come to me, Brian, can you help me with my project? The boss I need to have this done by the night. And I'm like, do this, and this. Who's next? Who do this, and this. Who's next? Yeah. So I was like killing it, man. All the C-level execs pulled me in a meeting. Kanye came up there. They pulled me in that meeting.
Of course.
I was meeting with Ashley.
So you met Kanye West in person?
We met Kanye. Yeah.
Oh, I got a question. Before I ask this question about Mr. West, guys, like the video. I know this is some fire right now. Chris, what are we at? 240 likes? Oh, okay. We got 240 live viewers, guys. Get us up on the likes, please, because right now this is awesome content.
Yeah.
Dude, what was it like meeting Kanye West, man? How is he like is he?
He was an asshole.
Okay. I've heard that from many people that he doesn't live in reality. But
he was just very serious, right?
Okay.
And when I say asshole, I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
Right.
What year was this? Like 2012, 2011 at this point when
like
you met him?
2011 2012.
I'm trying to see where he was in his music career at that time.
He was trying to pitch us the project he's doing now in Wyoming.
Oh, back then he was trying to pitch that?
Yeah. He had that for a long time under the whole Donda thing. And so we were trying to pitch him a clothing line, and he's like, I want to build a city. And we're like, bro, hold on, we trying to do a clothing line, dog. You talking about building a city. Like, where are we at with this? So he turned our pitch meeting into a pitch meeting. Yeah.
That's funny.
But when I say a-hole, I was at the front when he walked in the door, and when he walked in the door, he looked at me and I looked at him. He's kind of short, so I looked down at him.
Oh, he's shorter than you.
Yeah. He's a small guy.
Yeah.
So I said, how you doing, Mr. West? And I can't remember the specifics, but he wasn't like warm or like, yo, my G, what's good?
For people wondering, Hotep's about 6 feet, right around there.
He wasn't like KRS-One. Like when I met KRS-One and his brother, they were like, yo, my G, what's good? Where you from? You from Jersey? Oh, I fuck. That's how they were acting. Kanye was definitely like, I think with him, it was more or less about, is this dude standing in front of me about to groupie out? What do these people want from me?
Right.
You know,
he had his guard up.
Yeah, his guard was up. Thank you. And then when we moved into the meeting room, they told me, they said, hey, give him the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
No, they told me put the Wi-Fi password into his computer.
Oh.
And initially I'm like, y'all want me to touch Kanye computer?
Yeah.
But the big boss told me to do that. So I went to go like this. He was like, nah, don't touch my computer. I was like, yo, I didn't think you wanted me to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the big boss told me to. So like, because I was about to just give it to him. He's like, no, put it in. And when I went to go like that, he was like, so
especially quirky people like that, like you always got to move a certain way with, you know what I mean?
I'll chop your fingers off if you try to touch my computer. Yeah, do not touch my computer. That's why I was like, I want you to touch his computer. Do y'all know how this work?
Yeah.
You know? So I was dealing with a lot of that. But yeah, the 50 Cent situation was dope, man. I mean, I was running through matter of fact, one time my homie, he started up a sports agency. Sports agent marketing agency or whatever, and he pulled me into this meeting, and we go through this whole 45-hour-long meeting, and at the end of the meeting we do introductions. I don't know why we did it at the end, and then I said who I was, and dude was like, wait, you Daddy Boston? I'm like, yeah. He like, yo, we've been looking for you. Yo, hold up, after this meeting, yo, we gotta connect, because yeah. And my man's who brought me into the meeting was he was kind of hesitant to bring me into the meeting because he didn't know like what I could bring to the table and all that stuff. And he was like, he looked at me like, yo, you were serious about what you said. I'm like, yo, I told you I was running a large part of New York City. I was moving around the city heavy. But he didn't believe me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because
this is after the 50 Cent situation, right? This is after
the 50 Cent situation. Yeah. I was like, I told you I worked for 50. I was moving out here, and he was like, damn, I know it was like that. So my name became really popular in New York City, but then I got out. I was like, I can't do this life no more because it's too much fakeness in the game. So I left the whole game and I started moving into mobile apps.
So Hotep, I want to know, bro, how was the girls rolling with 50 Cent? Was it cool? Was it like groupie love? Like, what was it like?
It's 50. So all the girls are all the girls look good. They're all 10s. They all want 50, the security got to hold them back. I remember I was telling you about this last night. We was in Vegas. Yeah. I was in Vegas with Money Mayweather, the money team, and G Unit. Yeah. I'm in
all of them were there. The whole G Unit was there.
Nah, it was just 50, his security, and Money Mayweather and his security.
So Banks and Yayo, none of them were there.
Nah.
Okay.
None of them was there. Nah. It was just 50 and his.
Wait, this is later on. This is like 2011, 2012. They were having issues back then too. I remember, like,
they were around though. It wasn't like no serious issues.
Yeah.
It
was like petty stuff.
I mean, I was in Vegas with the money team and G on it. It was just like crazy.
That must have been lit.
That was
not even got to try. Like when you were at these types of parties, like it was like what 10 to 1 ratio of chicks.
I had a girl to tell the girls leave me alone.
Bam.
Damn.
Yo, I be trying to like I really try to explain to guys that like when you get to a certain level, like dudes don't. This is why I tell guys all the time, like you need to hold yourself to a different standard when you're dealing with women, because these girls are gonna throw it at you when you're a certain status. Meanwhile, a lot of you guys are struggling to get a chick to respond to you on text, and it's like, nah, like you gotta kick her to the curb, because I'm seeing it from the other side. Like I know Dan Blazarian does this, a lot of rappers, whatever, they have dudes that we called girl guys that like they basically go and recruit girls for them. And then Hotep had it where he had a chick that you explained this a little bit yesterday. Can you explain what your girl did for you with the other girls?
She was like my personal assistant.
Okay.
And so whenever girls would approach me, I would have them talk to my personal assistant. I'm like, hold on, yo, Lily, go handle it.
Bam. And she would screen, a woman would screen out other women for you.
Yeah. And one thing, man, like after I hit Rogan,
another level, guys.
People were asking me like, yo, how does it feel? And I'm like, y'all don't know my history. Like, first of all, you dealing with somebody who's on MTV at 19, right? Like I've been doing this, and then I became, I was a record label, so I was putting my artists in movies. I'm used to this stuff happening to me. Like, I'm used to success. When success happens, I'm not like, oh, wow, I did it. Yeah. I've done it too many times, And then being a touring artist, when we were touring artists and you do a show for 5,000 people, 10,000 people, when you get off that stage, you're a star to those people that are watching that show. Yeah. So we had little Spanish, Asian, little white girls that be like, hey, and you just let them come backstage, like, come on, come back here and kick it with us. Yeah. So I was used to dealing with groupie energy, and then when I got with 50, I was used to dealing with groupie energy.
Yeah, and you didn't let it, because a lot of guys let it run them over almost. But like you already knew how to deal with these types of women off rip.
Yeah, I had experience, and and I was hacking the media before the 50 thing. I was using 50 to hack the media. One time he dropped his book, The 50th Law, and I was the first person to go cop it and publish it. And they put me on the front page of This Is 50. And all my friends just hit me like, yo, you on the front page of This Is 50? I'm like,
which was huge back then.
Yeah,
like huge.
Yeah, that was super huge back then. That was a real big site as far as hip hop was concerned. Pop blogs.
Yep.
And
it was competing with World Star back then, I remember as well.
So when people like talk to me like, Joe Rogan, don't get me wrong, that was epic, And
we're gonna get into. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get into Joe Rogan here in a sec. Don't worry.
It was a great part of my life, and I'm very thankful for that. But when people act like that was like the first big thing that happened to me, I'm like, dog, I'm used to this shit. I'm used to success.
Yeah, right. Like you were telling us, like you were running into all kinds of people when you were in New York, because there was like certain circles, right? So when there was a party, like you'd run into, people from Joe Budden's camp, obviously 50's camp. Other rappers in the area, Papoose, all these guys.
Mostly New York cats.
Yeah.
Joe Budden, that stuff was when I was a record label. I remember we went to, when I got my artist in the movie, Joe Budden was there for the, one of the viewings with Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Bank, and Do It All, and all the cats. So we were all in the room. I never really had no interaction with Button or anything like that. But in New York, it was just like, Jack Thriller, the local celebrities, Jack Thriller, Fred the Godson.
Yeah.
I was at the Smack battles, the URL battles. I was there.
Don DeMarco.
Yeah, Don DeMarco. I was on stage with Adrian Broner and Kevin Durant and Stolly when he was relevant. And
what about my man Lucario? Mr. Lucario. From New York.
Who's Lucario? You talking about old boy that was hit this weekend?
No.
Or Sicario?
Oh, was that his rap name?
His name is Sicario.
No, he's a dating coach now, but he was on the panel with Donovan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. He wasn't around back then. I didn't run into him in those circles. But when I say celebrities, I mean you're talking about like local celebrities, like. For example, SOBs is called Sounds of Brazil in New York City, and every artist that wants to break into the scene pretty much has to pass through that stage. People like Drake have passed through that stage. That's where you perform for the record label, Universal, Sony, whoever. You go to SOBs, you go to BB King's, and I remember being a starving artist, and like I can't wait to hit the SOB stage. I hit the SOB stage several times.
Yeah.
I sponsored that stage. I had backdoor access to SOBs when Rita Ora was in house. I was downstairs with KRS-One's brother.
You said when L.A. Reid?
No, Rita Ora.
Oh, okay, Rita Ora. Okay,
UK chick.
UK chick.
They tried to make a fake Rihanna out of. So we were downstairs, and I wanted to get a picture with it because I was doing an endorsement. I'm trying to push the brand.
Yeah.
And KRS, when I came back, he's like, "What happened?" So KRS, one brother, was like, "Oh, she ain't give you. They acting bougie in there." So the whole time she's in the dressing room, he's cursing in Jamaican patois and just being belligerent in the hallway, like fuck her, all this type stuff. It was crazy. So he was warming. I ran into Elliot Wilson. I was warming, and I would before the show, like the Dream. I was kicking it in the green room with the Dream. And
falsetto.
I'd go in the secret entrance and be kicking it in the office until the stage popped,
So I know that, and shout out to Mr. Lucario, guys. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. That's our man's right there. Real quick, what was it like hanging out with 50 Cent, man?
Amazing. He's funny, he's down to earth, he's cool. He can be gangster.
Okay.
I remember one time I was in the office and I never told the story before either.
Oh, here we go.
At least
Freshandfit Podcast exclusive, baby.
Man. Let's go.
And the digital guy. I didn't want to do digital anymore because I told you the nightmare stories with digital.
Of course, they didn't see your vision and stuff.
Yeah, so I had some other dude, his name was Ben. He sat behind me, and 50 Cent had his headphones at that time, and then he had Beats by Dre was at the same time. So they were sort of like competitors.
Yeah.
So Ben had his Beats by Dre. So I was like, oh, you got them Beats by Dre on? While 50 was sitting in front of my desk, on the other side of my desk, talking to Kathy. So I made like this big loud outburst. And then I sat down and
put him on blast.
Yeah, I put Ben on blast, making a joke, trying to make light of the situation. And 50 turns around and he looks at me. He gives me this mean ice grill. I'm like, I guess I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? I think he was looking at it like, bro, you got a great opportunity here. Don't screw it up.
Yeah,
I think that's what he was trying to like convey with that look. And I was into my head. I'm like thinking like, man, get these crackers 50. That's what I'm thinking in my head. It's just fun and jokes in here. And I run this office, but that was but hang on 50 is cool, man. He's a very down to earth dude.
He always had 10 girls with him.
I don't think the thing was when you're a brand, you bring the girls.
Okay. All right.
Right. So we would show up with 8 to 10 promotion models.
Yeah.
And they're all dimes.
Yeah.
And they all got paid top dollar. So, but the girls were, I can't even say that girls made it to VIP. Matter of fact, when I saw the money team, so 50 Cent's bodyguards is straight killers. Like they're not big, but you look at them and it's like, I'm not messing with this dude. He looked crazy. The
dude's probably from Jamaica. He grew up with or whatever, right?
Work. Okay. I'm not going to say who, because I don't know for safety purposes, but I know one of his security guards' names, and the dude just looked like he's a savage killer.
Yep.
Mayweather's bodyguards were different. They were just like mountains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the one white dude was like 7 feet tall and 7 feet wide.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to come back in the VIP. He like, no. I'm like, yo, I'm with the squad. Look. He like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
But like walls, like I'm looking like this, know? Crazy. So yeah, girls weren't getting past that security, bro. Yeah.
At that level, I guess it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I think 50 had so many women on deck. He's not even like trying to think about them.
Yeah, at that level,
50's also professional too.
Yeah,
so
okay.
When we're doing these promotional things, he's not thinking about the girls. He's thinking about how's the execution going and things of that nature. Yeah.
And he doesn't smoke or drink, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. I've never seen him take a drink. The story was that he doesn't drink. And I don't think he smokes either. I'm pretty sure. I
think that's a big reason why he was so successful, man. Is because like he always had a clear head, and it's like
very disciplined,
when you're not drinking, doing drugs, and making bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you kind of got girls coming in on autopilot because you have the status. You could focus 100% on your business. You know what I'm saying? So that's
pour a drink to that.
Yeah. There you go, man.
Real quick, you got a super chat here from King Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
Super chat. He says $10. Shout out to Myron Gaines, Freshfit CEO, C. Poxon, and Hotep Jesus, bro. I see you on Alex Jones show. Fire.
You know what?
Oh yeah.
Yo, let's talk. Okay, let's talk about Alex Jones real quick.
I was on Alex Jones about 7 times. That's my dude.
Yo, let's talk about Alex Jones real quick, because Alex Jones, for those that don't know,
he's controversial.
He's one of the most controversial guys. Like we're probably gonna get the platform for even mentioning his name. He's probably gonna get a shadow bit.
Screwed the algorithm right there.
Yeah, we probably messed it up, but it is what it is. I think he is Joe Rogan's most viewed show right now.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think he killed Elon Musk. I think he got like almost substantially more. What was it like hanging out with him?
So Alex Jones is we're supposed to fly down and meet Alex Jones and shoot some content together in studio, me and Uncle Hotep.
Yeah, he's in Texas, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to do that. We didn't get a chance to do that because of COVID, threw a wrench in those plans. But other than that, Alex has this weird respect for me that I enjoy. For example, when you go on Alex Jones' show, he gonna cut you off a lot.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say he hasn't cut me off, but he understands his audience, so he knows when to cut people off. But when I speak, he be giving me a lot of floor.
Really? Okay.
He be like, Hotep, what do you got to say? And I talk, and he just lets me talk. One time, Alex Jones gave me an hour segment on his channel.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, yo, I'll give you an hour on like a Wednesday. And I'm like, sure. And I ran his show for like an hour remotely.
InfoWars, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because back when I had my group, the Rebels, I used to check the InfoWars out all the time. And I remember one time I tweeted something, and somebody's like, "Where'd you get that from?" And I showed them the link to InfoWars. They're like, "Oh, you got that from InfoWars?" Oh my god! And they laughed at me, and I was just like, "Oh, is that not a credible source?" I felt funny, but I still stayed with it. Like, I don't know what you thinking, but I think I'm gonna stick with this dude, Alex Jones, because he's saying more real stuff than the media. And it's just funny how things come full circle, because now, like, if I wanted to go on Alex Jones' show whenever I want, I just hit him up and say, yo, I want to come on, and I can get on there, instant access, because we have that mutual respect. Yeah. Real great guy.
I mean, I've seen some of his interviews, and he has great delivery, man. He has great delivery with his stuff. I mean, I watched the Joe Rogan show, which I guess we'll talk about next. Just interesting perspectives. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting perspectives. I wish when he went on T.I.'s show, I wish T.I. let him talk a little bit more. T.I. kept cutting him off, but it is what it is, And
then I want to ask, man, because I first look at you, bro, right? I'm not judging.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm like, yo, who is this cat? What does he do? Right? Yeah. So could you tell the audience a little bit more about like what Hotep does behind the scenes, not just like the celebrity hanging out, or what I'm saying, like the bravado, both Hotep behind the scenes,
the entrepreneur side that people don't know.
I sleep. I sleep, and
you shut up in code.
Yeah, you see the hoodie, right? Shut up in code. Yeah,
that's fire, man.
I come from the school of thought where you don't work hard. If you work hard, you're doing something wrong.
Work smart.
You work often. So there's a difference there, right? Working smart is definitely a part of the equation. But I practice how not to work. If I have to work, that means I'm doing something wrong. There's something missing. So instead of working, I'll spend a week trying to figure out how I can solve this problem without working. And 99% of the time, I figure out how not to work and solve that problem. And after a week, I'm like, actually, this ain't even a problem. So I'm not even going to work on it. Let's focus on something that's more important. Yeah. Like you were talking about the other day, like, you wish I had my book right here. And I'm like, screw that book. I'm over here trying to build an AI company, So it's like, it's this prioritization and knowing where to put your chips at. And we all get the same 24 hours in a day. Some people are going to spend that making sandwiches at the sub shop, and other people are going to do that trying to build multi-billion-dollar companies. Right. I spend my 24 hours trying to build multi-billion-dollar companies. So that's where I spend my time. Coinbitsapp.com. We sell Bitcoin. And it's basically Bitcoin investing on autopilot. Coinbitsapp.com. A potential multi-billion-dollar company. We have over 1 million assets under management. So I spend my time trying to figure out, how can I optimize that business? How can I get that in front of more eyes? Then we got the AI company, Wizo. Then I got my deep fake company over at Bloom. And then we got the Jiffitize app started by Simone, and that's great for content creators. So I'm always trying to figure out. So the one thing I figured out was, if Hotep Jesus becomes more popular and I get more eyes on me, I can trickle that down to my companies. So I try to focus on me. How can I make me better? How can I get me in front of more eyes?
Right.
And then channel that to the different endeavors I have. Now, I also have 10 plus years experience working with mobile apps and in the tech space. So when I speak to companies and we have these talks, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you knew all this. Because I studied digital marketing for 1 year, but I studied it like it was my life. And then I practiced it when I worked with, over 20 tech startups. So I had my own consulting agency where I consulted tech startups. And then I worked for an agency at the same time.
Yeah.
So the agency I worked for was training me in ASO and SEO. Really brilliant guy, Gabriel Kwachi, out of Detroit, black dude, African cat. And he taught me a lot about SEO and ASO. And at the same time, I was using some of the things I knew about traditional marketing. So,
and for the people that don't know, SEO, search engine optimization, and then AEO, what was
ASO.
ASO, what's that stand for?
App Store optimization.
Damn. Okay, for apps. Yep.
Yeah, for apps. So that's the App Store. So it works like SEO, except the App Store is just a little bit different, and what they use to include in their algorithm and search findings is a bit different, and the different platforms you use, like App Annie and Mobile Action and Apps Flyer, and there's a whole bunch of different softwares you can use out there to optimize your app and whatnot.
Right.
So for example, when I was in the 50 situation, I came in the office one day. I'm like, yo, we should just drop a mobile app. And they were like, because they were talking about like clothing lines and all this stuff. I'm like, let's drop a mobile app. Let's put a mobile app out there and make the energy drink like Super Mario almost, maybe, where every time you take the energy drink, you get a power up. So we win both ways. We can win in the mobile app space, and we can promote the energy drink. And nobody. And then I had a ex-Mets player had a startup, and he was in the spirits industry. And I was like, you ever thought about going to mobile app space? And he was like, no. Like, why would we do that? And I was like, man, like people don't see what's coming.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about
this is 10 years ago, you're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Mind you guys, for the audience, and he's talking about this 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I'm like, yo, we need to move into this mobile app space.
This is right around the time the iPhone 4 came out, and like using apps and being on your cell phone and actually doing things is starting to emerge.
Yeah, it's starting to emerge, and I'm seeing like how big
it's going to get.
And the App Store, the Apple App Store is doing billions of dollars. I don't know what that number is, but billions of dollars in revenue.
Yep.
And I'm just now, but I saw that coming, and nobody was in that space. So I was like, all right, nobody's in the space. I'm going to find the people that are in that space, and I'm going to work with them. So I educated myself so I could work with those people, and I became an expert on mobile apps and promoting mobile apps and marketing mobile apps, et cetera, et cetera. And then I read 0 to 1, and I read I think 0 to 1 was written by Peter Thiel. So it brought in my mind about tech, and I'm like, maybe I need to. And mobile apps are cool, but I need to also pay attention to hardware. And so so over at Wazo we have an AI hardware component. So Peter Thiel basically said that hardware is going to make a reemergence. So I wanted to keep an eye on that. But I just always studied, man. And I always studied and just studied the tech. And
let me say this real quick, too, for the people out there. Hotep took us to school yesterday. Like, he gave us a full, like, digital marketing strategy that incorporated
not just digital.
I was going to say, full market, like getting out there on the ground, online presence, using events, all that other stuff. I don't know how much you want to talk about it.
Yeah. So basically what I taught them was how to turn your marketing efforts into a more organized plan. And in marketing, we call them verticals. So a vertical may be events, social media, advertising, etc. So it's about taking these verticals, putting dates to them, and making sure you're hitting all verticals. Now, the bigger your team is, the more verticals or the more effort you can put into each vertical. But I think it's very important for people to touch offline and online at the same time, if possible, if you have those resources and you're really centralized like that. And so, I was giving them, I basically gave you like $5,000 worth of information last night. We stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
He was schooling us, guys, telling us like, pretty much we're going to take over Brickle. Okay, guys, I hope you guys are ready, because we got Hotep in our corner helping us out. So,
and I try to make sure I dress like a bum, and be as low key as possible, not wear jewelry and any of that stuff. For me, it's because
as Fresh covers the CEO chain.
I'm gonna have my chain real quick
because I want to. Remember, I told you my superpower is reading people.
Right.
So if I look very average, then I can read you. If I look and present myself, for example, like a Kevin Samuels, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be way harder for me to read you because you're reacting.
You're going to put on a facade.
Yeah, you're going to put a facade on for my image. And now I'm like, is that a facade? Is that really you? And it makes my job harder. But when I'm just neutral, you almost overlook me. You don't
That's
even
true.
understand my power and what I know. So I have the advantage. I'm sitting here like, oh, this guy doesn't even know I'm fucking a CEO of all these corporations.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna plug him.
No
and
clue.
Just talk to him, and he's gonna talk to me like I'm some young kid that don't know nothing.
That's smart.
And then that's gonna let me know who I'm working with. So
Yep.
then when I finally divulge information, he's like, oh.
Yep.
I always catch people off guard.
Yeah.
And I much rather have that effect. So I like to be low key and use the tech stuff as a wild card.
You call me up. I'm not even gonna cap. Like when we had the show with Donovan and you talked about all your startup companies, everything like that. Obviously, I knew about you from Joe Rogan, everything like that. And your friends with Rollo Tomasi. Shout out to Rollo Tomasi, guys. We're working on something special with you guys with Hotep and Rollo Tomasi. So don't stay tuned for that. But I had known about you from Rollo Tomasi, but I didn't know you did all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I knew about you about the masculinity stuff, which we're gonna get into, guys. Don't worry. But you know, as you guys said,
I keep that stuff exclusive
to
the people who really dig me.
Yeah.
If you really dig me, you know I'm in tech.
Yep.
Because you hear it during my interviews, you hear it on the podcast, you're subscribed to my email list, which tells you everything I do.
Yeah.
It's in my bio. I had somebody the other day like, oh, you should go on Joe Rogan. I'm like, it's literally in my bio.
Yeah.
So I can put it all out there. I just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, why don't you talk it up more? Why don't you talk it more? Because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you go on a date and you're rich, but you don't want to let your date know that you're rich.
Yes.
You want to read her, see what she's about.
Yes.
And then when she opens up to you and you see she's a good person, all right, now here's your reward. Like in my lifestyle.
I hate the artificialness of social media, right? We got to talk about everything we do. Oh, I just had a meeting with my AI team. Ho, 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 look at me. Like, I could do that every day if I wanted to. I just had a meeting with my Bitcoin team. And a lot of people say you should do that. It's like, that's corny to me. You'll know when Forbes announces that I'm a billionaire. Then you'd be like, wait, what was he working on that whole time? How did you missed out because you didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the lesson I really want to teach people is do not get fooled by appearances, because appearances will fool you. If I wanted to rob a bank, I'm not going to dress like this. I'm going to dress like Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Kevin Samuels is a perfect example of what a spy could look like. And I love Kevin Samuels. That's my dude.
Yeah.
So this is no diss at all to him. But if I wanted to fool you, I would dress like Kevin. I don't want to fool nobody. I want you to take me as me, hear me speak and talk. Look at my nappy dreads, right? Because the dreads are supposed to be something that are dreaded. That's why they got the name dread. You're supposed to call them locks, but the dreads are supposed to represent like some hood or whatever. No. This is me. This is who I am. And if you want to get to know me, talk to me.
Yeah.
All right. We got a super chat here from Brody McFarland. He says, for $1.99, he says, salute, Hotep.
Thank you so much, man.
My man, Brody.
So this
Brody's in the Saturday class too.
Oh, shout out to Brody, man. Guys, please like the video, comment, subscribe to Hotep Jesus channel. It's Hotep Jesus, right? Your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And we're going to put all his contact information in the description box, guys. So this segues in perfectly into Joe Rogan. So I know that people want to know, you went on Joe Rogan, I think about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you got on there, what it was like? And we ain't going to talk about Starbucks, guys, okay? I know some of you guys probably, is this the reparations? Okay, yes, we know about the Starbucks thing.
Yeah, that's old news.
Yeah.
And also, who's better, us or Joe Rogan?
I can't answer that question.
Yeah. But what was that like? How'd you get on? Because obviously that's a big deal. You get on Joe Rogan, you don't get on Joe Rogan easily.
Yep.
So that was, for example, when you build a social media following, how you tweet determines who you will attract. I purposely designed my Twitter following to attract only people who question the so-called truth, and not QAnon people, and no diss to Alex Jones, not InfoWars people who really question and intellectual, and I'm questioning the right and left, so you can't be biased.
Yeah.
You got to be bipartisan.
You hit both sides.
Yeah, I hit both sides. So I cultivated a very unique following where you can't even fool my following, you know? For example, you asked me, say, why don't you get verified? I'm like,
I asked that. I asked that. Yeah.
Unfollow me if I get verified.
Yeah.
Because I've trashed that that idea of being verified so bad that it would be against my brand.
Yeah.
It's all about being organic and being real and being who you are.
Which, if you want to get verified, we did, as you guys know, me and Fresh for social media guys, he would get verified instantly. Like, it wouldn't even be.
Fresh was like, yeah, you need to have like 5 or 6 articles. I was like, I got that. And he went and Googled me. He was like, oh, yeah. It took him like 2 seconds. He was like, yeah, he got that.
Yeah. To get verified on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter. If you wanted to, you would be get instantly. Yeah. You choose not to.
No.
Which is interesting.
That's
most people kill for that blue check.
That's for amateurs. That's for amateurs. When you good, people gonna find you. When you good, people going glue to you. So it's my followers the reason why I got on Joe. They say, yo, you need to be on Joe Rogan. Now, before they said that, I didn't know he had a podcast. I knew he was a dude from Fear Factor. I'm like, damn, I had no idea.
No cap, you didn't know? You didn't know?
I didn't know, yo. I be in my bubble, bro.
Okay.
I'm in a bubble. I'm on my tech companies. I'm on Twitter, but I don't be on Twitter.
Yeah. And because we got a lot of young listeners. So a lot of you guys know the bald Joe Rogan, JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, Alex Jones, Elon Musk. You guys will understand the Fear Factor Joe Rogan. For the older people, you know what I mean? He used to run a show back in NBC. Factor. Exactly. And that's what I remember too. Fear Factor, which was like a hit show back in the early 2000s when he had hair. That's what a lot of people don't know about Joe Rogan is that's what he did first. Right. And Hotep's a little older. He's 40 years old, guys. So he knows that Joe Rogan, not necessarily. Because I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're the one you didn't know you had a podcast. It's like, bruh, if you're older, you're going to know Joe Rogan from Fear Factor, not necessarily Jerry.
I think you asked me. No, who was it? Somebody asked me, said, what content creators you watch on YouTube? And I'm like, none. I don't glue in the content creators. I be studying books from 1820, you know, in tech.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You ask me about tech or history, I'm right there with you. You ask me about something relevant today, like I didn't know who Tim Pool was. Then I got glued to him, and then I went on a show a couple of weeks ago. I like Tim Pool. He's a cool dude. But do I watch Tim Pool? Nah, I feel like that's for the hoi polloi. You know, it's just not for me. Not to take anything away from his content. It's just not where my mind is. You know what I mean? I don't consume content. I consume records, evidence, history, and something that can help me right now. So that's what I was consuming. But anyway, my follower was like, yo, you should go on Joe Rogan. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Like, whatever. You know, I ain't sweating it. And then something, like I told you, remember I told you I'm an ascended master of past life? That spirit hit me and said, yo, mention that right now on Twitter. It was like a week later. So I mentioned it. I forget what the exact tweet was, but I mentioned it. And then Joe Rogan a few moments later replied and said, y'all have you on the show.
Wow. So talk about, what was that like? So it was funny. I want to see if I could find the DM. Yeah.
My
I'll be lit.
My hold on. My phone freezing, Twitter acting up. But when
he's breaking Twitter, guys.
When we activated that idea of me coming onto a show, I was very cavalier about it. And then I posted the screenshot of our DM confirming it, and people were like, yo, you're taking this really like, you so cool about this. You know, you're about to go on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know how big it was.
Oh, so you didn't know how big it was until you got on?
Facts.
Okay.
Facts. Actually, here it is.
It's probably better. That's probably actually better that you didn't know.
Yeah.
At least back then. You know, it's the number one podcast in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
So he said, hey, this is June 7th, 2019, 1:01 a.m. And he said, hey, brother, let's do it. Where are you located? When are you going to be in LA? I said, I'm in Jersey, Beast Coast. Not sure when I'll be in LA, but I can arrange something.
Yeah.
People thought that was very cavalier of me. But again, you got to remember, I worked for 50. I didn't get I'm talking to Joe Rogan. I'm not starstruck by this.
And that's why I wanted to talk about your music career first, because that you had already been around this space. You know what I'm saying? You had already rubbed elbows with A-list celebs.
Yeah, I was consulting celebs.
Yeah.
I can't say because of confidentiality contracts, but TV personalities were hiring me to guide them.
Yep.
Like, I'm talking about mainstream TV personalities. So I'm used to being around celebrities. They're just normal people to me. So when I asked Joe Rogan on the podcast, he said one of his friends actually said that I should go on. So I don't know, maybe my tweet triggered that friend to reach out, and I got on Joe Rogan, and a lot of people are jealous of that, and they're like, of course, you know, he wasn't supposed to get that. Haters gonna hate what you get, you know.
But that's the part of social media, man. You never know who you could connect with. You never know who knows who. So you put that out there in the universe. Someone took it, said, hey, you know what? This needs to be done, and boom.
And you did it on one of the hardest. I mean, for anyone that uses Twitter, you guys know it's an endless pool. Like you can literally get trapped in Twitter. It's like the nether realm. You can get trapped in there for years, like hours at a time. You know what I'm saying?
It's the hardest social network to build a following.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And it's like because Twitter, I feel like, is 5 years behind Facebook and Instagram. So you know what I mean? And it's like just
Instagram. I hacked Instagram. Because on Instagram, you need 10K to get the swipe up.
Yep.
So I hacked Instagram to get my 10K. I got some hack software.
There we go. Bam.
It's in my book. If anybody wants to know what hack software I use, it's right in my book, Dominate Twitter. And I hacked my way to 10K followers in a few months.
Yeah. So Twitter, you did it on one of the hardest platforms.
Twitter, I did it like straight up, organic. Actually, in Dominate Twitter, I tell you everything I did in the early days to get, you know, even buying followers, right? Like that's one story I tell in my book where people are like, oh, you bought followers. Because right now, if you run my account through that audit system, it says like half my followers are fake.
Yep.
But that audit system is broken because the thing is, I ran that report years ago. So it's like scaling up to where your followers are now. Yeah. It's just not accurate at all. And it tells you at the bottom of the page, this is based upon a small sample of your followers, right?
Now I know he knows marketing even better than I thought.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, we got a super chat here.
Okay.
Eli says for $1.99, Rogan took down episode no longer on YouTube. I just looked.
It's exclusive to Spotify now.
Yeah, I actually saw the clips though, so it's still up. Yeah. Anyhow, next person, Ken Thorson.
That interview is up. It's still up.
No,
the full length.
The clips.
The clips are up.
Great. Okay. Ken says, great conversation tonight. Subbed, Hotep, and built.
Word. Shout out to Ken. That's my homie. He's in the Saturday class too.
Thank you for the support, guys. We appreciate it greatly. Like the video, comment, subscribe.
Great followers, man. People be telling me, yo, Hotep, you're so great. No, I'm not. My followers make me who I am. And like I said, like you attract the tribe that you want. I made sure I wanted to attract. See, if I would have did the whole superficial thing, I would have got superficial followers. I don't want superficial followers. I want people that like me because of what I say and what I think.
Authentic.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I want that authentic, man. Keep it real with me. Keep it 100 with me, man. Don't like me because you like my watch.
Right. Hotep, real quick. I remember we spoke at the restaurant, right? About dating back then to dating now on social media. Yeah. Perfect, so I want to ask you, brother, right? How has dating changed? Because I know you're a little bit more mature than us, a little bit more older. You definitely had your, back in the day, you had your, you know what I'm saying?
Women got too much confidence now, man. Back in my day, you know, a 6 was humble. She knew she was a 6.
Kendrick Lamar level.
Yeah, social media got these 6s and 7s and 4s and 5s thinking they dimes because there's thirsty men out there who are thirsting over them because they're posting half naked shots on social media. Damn. So when you're dealing with relationships, what you got is something, let's say an attention cup, right?
Ooh, here we go.
And this attention cup is either full or empty or a portion of either.
Which that is almost empty from Grey Goose. So pour some more if you want.
I'm good. I'm gonna get real saucy in a minute. So when a woman, this cup right now represents the 90s. It's empty.
Yeah.
So when she left the house, her attention cup was empty. So when you catcalled, it got full.
Yeah.
So she got her attention from leaving the house.
Bam.
Right.
Nowadays, when a woman leave the house, her attention cup is full. So when you catcall, she's annoyed.
Right. Bam.
Damn.
Water's overflowing from the cup.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bam.
That's DMs, online dating, everything.
Likes, all of it. Yeah. So her mentality when she leave the house is completely different. She already felt like she that chick. So when you holler at her in the club, her ego is so inflated. Whereas before, when you holler at the chick, it was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, they respected that male attention.
Yeah,
because it's supply and demand, right? So it's like, you know, as supply goes up, you know what I'm saying? Demand goes down, blah, blah, blah. So
and then back in the day, before the cell phones, you had to write a chick number down on a piece of paper
Yeah.
or remember it or write it on your hand. And God forbid you wrote it on your hand, you get home and it rubbed off. You're like, what was that last number? I think that was a 9. I'm going to just try all the digits so I get it right.
Yeah.
You know? So it was much different back then. You didn't have the cell phone.
Yeah.
And we was dating chicks. We used to grab chicks off Black Planet. I had a page. It was called Too Hot for BP. And I would put all the hot chicks on the page that were verified that I knew wasn't catfish. And then in between, I was doing something called native advertising. So I made banner ads for me and my homies. So you'd scroll 3 girls and you see my page and a link to my page. You scroll 3 girls and you see a link to my homie page. So I was doing advertising and marketing. I didn't even know it, right?
Yeah. Even with the dating, you still applied that business and that marketing. Yeah. Because that's what dating is nowadays. If anything, dating is marketing now.
It is.
Even more so.
Hotep, that's what I'm doing right now. Literally. My Instagram is like my funnel. I
Yes.
pass everything through there and I get what I want from it.
Yeah. So, I was dating this girl, light skinned thing, man, mulatto. I think she was half Jewish, half Black.
From New York?
Beautiful. Yeah. She was an engineer for the Breakfast Club for a little while. Sasha, shout out to Sasha. Beautiful ex of mine, beautiful ex of mine. We could never be together. Yeah, she a beautiful person. But I was bagging, beautiful women off of the internet. The difference was everybody didn't have a phone. So if you was on the internet, you had money because you did it on the computer.
Yeah.
I remember my homie, he used to come over and be like, yo, can I check my MySpace messages?
Yo, facts.
It wasn't like now.
See, we're old enough to remember that. These young people, like, guys, I'm 30, Fresh is 28. Like, we still remember what it was like before the smartphone came in and I don't want to say destroy, but it changed the game. Changed the game for women. Like, it's
back
now.
In the day, you got her number. Now you get her Instagram.
Hell, bro, I could tell you right now, right? The damage you could do on Instagram is way more than a phone number. Because get this, right? Most girls get hit up all the time.
Yeah.
So they get the phone number. 5 guys got it.
Yeah.
How's she gonna know who's who? If you give your Instagram, damn, that's to do with the flat lifestyle, or to do with the.
Bro, a chick just hit me up today saying, "Oh, I forgot who this was. Sorry, I just remembered who this is. Or you want to hang out?"
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys uncomfortable reality. Like, a chick ain't gonna save your number until she bangs you like 3 times.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna put the name to it.
I mean, women hit on me.
Mm-hmm.
I could show you my DMs. I won't.
Yeah.
But women hit me up and say, yo, I think you're a really beautiful man. I love your mind. I think you're very attractive. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of somebody who would be dating today. Could I date today? I mean, sure, I could figure it out, but I'd hate it.
Yeah.
I would hate.
If anything, you're in a perfect position. If anything, you're in a perfect position to date today because you got clout. You know what I'm saying? You could get verified in 2 seconds. And I always say, like, nowadays, like, guys that have money and status, whatever it may be, I hate to say it, man, they're not cold approaching. They're running IG game. They're running, social media game in general. And it's like, clout is the ultimate currency. If you want to just maximize, just get chicks.
Yeah. And let's say you're young, right? Right now, you're not what they want. So you either wait your time, work on yourself.
If you can't get a woman, that means you don't believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have confidence. It don't take a lot of people to tell you that you got to dress a certain way, you got to look a certain way, you got to have a certain amount of money to get girls.
It's confidence.
Confidence is the pillar to getting girls. Does that other stuff help you get more? Hell yeah. If you got more money, you're going to get more girls. If you got a nice body, you're going to get more girls. Yes, all of that stuff is definitely valid. But the one thing you need to have is confidence. The thing about having a nice body and money and all and status is it just gives you that confidence, right?
Yeah.
So that's why people ought to tell you, like, focus on getting your money. The reason why I tell cats to focus on getting their money before girls is because when you chase one, the other one get in the way.
Facts.
So I tell dudes focus on the money, because if you focus on the girls, you ain't gonna have no money and your future gonna look real bleak.
Right.
And don't focus on the money because you want to get girls. Focus on the money because you want to live a good life, because you want to be comfortable, because you don't want to have a boss breathing down your neck. That's why you want to get a good job. If you make women the focal point of your life, you a bitch.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I always say it, man, like you don't make the money to get girls. You make the money so you don't tolerate the BS that comes with girls. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you can kick them to the curb if they get you mad.
Women come with the package of being men. In my book, chapter 1 says women are the apex predator. Y'all think y'all be getting girls. No, girls be getting you.
Yeah, facts.
Girls get you.
Yeah.
It's up to the woman to accept you or not. It ain't your choice.
Yep.
You ready to bang. It's her decision.
Yep.
And women act as traps. You know, that's how they get their prey. They get their prey through attraction and traps.
Yep.
You know, the makeup and all that.
And you're coming to them, so you're already kind of like, I hate to say it, like when you approach a girl, regardless as the man, you are giving up a little bit of your power,
sure,
no matter what you do. And then I always say it too, that like women are professional resource extractors. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're literally designed. They're hardwired to survive, not just for themselves, but for their children.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're hardwired to select the ultimate mate to raise the next generation.
Facts.
That's their job, is to select the mate. You don't select the mate. Show me in nature where the male selects the mate.
Facts.
The female selects the mate.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's any different?
Yeah.
You know, you ain't selecting her. She's selecting you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's anomalies to that and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
because we're humans and we have a higher level of consciousness than animals. But for the most part, man, now I'm a young dude, man. When I was 16, you know, I had girls for days. When I was 19, I had girls for days. I've never had a problem in the lady department.
Right.
But like I said, it's same thing in marketing. I practice inbound marketing. I practice inbound marketing with chicks. I didn't try to get chicks. I just try to make myself look more attractive.
See, that's the definition. Okay, so what you say right there, bro, all people miss, right? It might go over somebody's head. He's not chasing, he's attracting.
Yes.
When you can attract something to your life, bro, whether it be money, females, success, fame, that in itself is mastery, because you've become what you want to attract.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Sometimes I be chilling and breasts pop up in my DMs, and I'm like, I didn't even ask for these.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
And that's optimal if you're a man. I will say this real quick though, guys. We got the phone lines open. Call into the show. Man, I forget the number. Chris, what's the number? 515-605 9740 baby. So we actually got one call on the line. We'll get him on right now. I think it's 5. Actually, we got a couple on the line. I was wrong. Okay. 501, you're on the line with Myron Gaines, Freshman CEO, and Hotep Jesus. Please keep your question brief. We'll do this for we'll go another 15 minutes or so.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Caller, 501.
Go once.
Get him out of here.
Go twice.
She dropped. Okay, she going.
They scared.
Yeah, I guess they are scared.
Next.
Well, yeah, we got the number on the line. Before we go to the next caller, I got a quick question for Hotep, because you didn't get to finish your Joe Rogan story. So
what was I at on that?
Yeah, you were at the people said, hey, you should get him on Joe Rogan. He hits you up. You went and did the interview. What was it like going to the studio, going to LA?
Yo, he hypnotized me, yo.
Okay, tell us about that.
He must have put something in my drink or something. I don't know what happened, but when the interview was over, I didn't remember what I said. And I was like, I told him too much. Because going into the interview, I said, look.
It was a good interview. I watched it.
Thank you. I was like, be on your best behavior. Don't wild out, B. You know how you can get. You got 24 different personalities. Bring the right ones to the table.
Yeah.
And then when the interview was over, I'm like, I don't think I should have said all that. But I couldn't remember what I said. And I was like, something about Joe Rogan makes you feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
You just be talking.
Yep. He's a very good interviewer. He shuts up, man. He just shuts up and lets people talk.
Bro, he was pulling stuff out of me. I was like, ordinarily I wouldn't even say this on no live. How'd you do this? So to this day, I feel like somebody, when I walked in the door, hypnotized me, or he did some hypnotized thing. Joe Rogan hypnotized me, people. Be careful you go around that guy. He hypnotizes people, man, because I felt so comfortable and I couldn't remember what I said in the interview. But then I don't watch my interviews. I don't watch my content. It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
The only thing I watch for is maybe sound quality.
Yeah.
And that was the one interview I had to watch. What did I say? why do my eyes look like that? Like, oh my God, my eyes look like this too. Oh, wait a minute. They're going to talk about my eyes the whole time. But it was great. I had fun, man. He was a really cool dude, man.
You were recently on the TimCast IRL podcast, which for those that don't know, TimCast, basically they talk about contemporary issues, news, politics, etc. I would consider TimCast fairly conservative. He's a libertarian. If we're gonna put him in a box, which I hate to do that, but like for the viewers that don't know, I would consider him a libertarian.
No, he's not.
No, you don't think so?
No, libertarian's very anti-state, and according to the conversation we had, he thinks there's a purpose for the state.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't watch that full interview, so that's on me right there. But
that was part of the debate we had during the thing was the whole anti-state
perfect
thing.
So let's chat about that a little bit because he has one of the biggest podcasts. Was he live streams it?
He's cool, man.
He
was a cool white boy. I went to his house and he got the skate park in there and he got the PlayStation on the projector, and he just seemed like a really cool dude, and he's got a good thing going for him. He's making money and he's got the nice house set up. And
yeah, they live stream too. They get so many super chats, bro. I'm like, man, what the?
Yeah.
You don't even read them.
I mean, he's got a great history though. When you look about his history, starting at Vice and some of the other media outlets he worked for.
Oh, there we go. He started with like left-wing news, right? Like writing for them.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you for certain. But yeah, I mean, he's got a good resume. He's doing well for himself as a young man, So and he was cool. We had a very great conversation. A lot of people say that was one of the best conversations they saw this year because.
Can you give us a quick summary of it? Like what you guys talked about?
It was mental combat.
Okay.
But it was cordial.
Okay.
It wasn't like
because I always looked at him as a libertarian, so I stand corrected. Like
he's not a libertarian. Okay, Chad Lemoyne, he's a libertarian, and that stuff is very anti-state, and small government, more freedoms, less taxing. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but from my recollection, Tim Pool was saying that there was some room for the state, and I was like. There is no room for the state. Zero, none, zilch, nada. And I stand on that. I think the only room for the state is voluntary. That's the only room for the state.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to volunteer and do something, cool. Otherwise, leave us alone. So your first small government is. No government.
You know government.
Government means to govern your mind. Govern means to control. Ment means mind. It means to control your mind. That's what the government. I don't need nobody controlling my mind.
Hey, caller.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We're just doing a quick test. Sorry, guys. But sorry.
Government means to control your mind. I don't need anybody controlling my mind. When you got a car and you put a governor on it, it stops it from reaching a certain level of speed. That's what a governor is. When you have a governor of a state, they're limiting your power.
Now I'll say this though, people, just to because you're a contrarian. I like to play devil's advocate sometimes. But what about protecting the public with police, taxes, highways, infrastructure, things like this?
I don't need no protection if you let me walk around with my AK on my back. Look at this. Look at what happened in the church down in Texas. A potential mass shooter walked in and was about to fire on the people, and an armed congregation of Christians took that fool down in seconds. Grandma was pulling out like, "Oh, do I need to get my 22 out? What's going on here?"
I lived in Texas. Everyone has a gun out there.
It's safer.
Yeah, New Hampshire as well.
The federal government comes in and tells you can't have no gun. So you want to have a monopoly on guns, is what you're saying. And then then black people will come around with that whole black liberal stuff, talking about we need gun control. And I'm like, so you want white people to have a monopoly on guns? Is that what you're saying, black man?
You can't defend yourself.
How are you going to? You just said that this is a system of white supremacy, and now you're saying only white people should have guns? You got to make up your mind, black man. We should be able to walk around with guns on our back. like an RPG.
Man, I want to learn how to shoot.
I mean, not RPG as in the rocket launcher. RPG as in
yeah, role playing game. Yeah. No, that's what I'm a video game player as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I need to learn
that's
how
what
to
you
for the
meant.
audience. For the
shoot,
audience.
Yeah,
I don't know how to shoot.
yeah, he's from Barbados, so
You don't know how to shoot?
Yeah, dude.
Gotta learn.
Dude, peace, man. Good vibes and reggae music in the islands.
Well, that's what a gun is. It's a peacekeeper. You
It's
keep
true.
the peace with the gun. Ain't nobody messing with you when you got no gun.
So
Somebody
what would an optimal society look like in with you with no government? Like how would we regulate and everything else?
Society
Yeah.
is a people who understand that they are not people. They are people who understand that they are souls and we are light beings and we are all one. We are not separate. We are all one. You are one expression of God. You're another expression of God. I am an expression of God. When we put these expressions together, we become supreme. When you have an outlook on a subject and you have an outlook on a subject and I dismiss your outlook and I dismiss your outlook, I'm dismissing myself. And that's what the left likes to do.
Okay.
They like to dismiss your argument. That's what the right likes to do. They like to dismiss your argument. No. Acknowledge the argument and say, self, you are absolutely right. Here's my side of the thing. And let's find the middle ground. But until everybody realizes that humanity is one soul, one being, and we are here to work together, we will never rise and we'll never overcome. And we will always have poverty. We will always have what they call, inequality or whatever the heck it may be. But once we realize we are all one and we are all one people, that is the key to this, man. You are me. I'm you. I'm sexy. I got muscles. Look at me. I'm great. Look at me, bro. I look good. And I got a chain on that say, CEO, I look good in that chain.
Hey.
You are me. I am you. And once we have that mentality, the self falls away.
It's interesting perspective, man.
So you believe in the one consciousness?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just curious. If we all came together as one and we came under one religion, one world, wouldn't that bring about like too much control?
No. You see, you just described globalism. What I said was you are an expression, you are a perspective, and your perspective and your expression must exist and it must be different from mine. Remember, I told you I'm 24 different personalities.
Yeah.
These personalities help me understand the world in so many different perspectives, and I'm able to express myself in many different ways. And I can talk to many different people through these different personalities. You are just a different personality. I don't want you to be like me. I don't want oneness in thought. I want multiplicity in thought to create oneness as a solution.
Okay. That makes sense.
So if you look at a problem one way, I look at it another way, then we find the oneness that creates a solution that appeases both of our sides. If we were to take gun control, for example, and we say, okay, there's a problem with guns and school shooting. Yes. Fact. True. We need to take away guns. Hold up now.
Yeah.
That's not the right solution. You have to be willing to say, okay, maybe that's not the right solution. If you're not willing to say that, you're not willing to accept the other side of yourself. We have to come to the table. That's why people enjoyed the Tim Pool conversation, because when we were having this conversation and somebody brought up something, I said, great, wonderful. Let's work with that. We were talking about anarchy. I was like, yo, anarchy's the way. And then dude was like, well, what about somebody peeing on somebody's face and, something like that. And I was like, you seem to be like a pessimistic person. So what I'll do is I'll work with the optimists. Me and Tim Pool will work as the optimists, come up with great ideas. Then we'll bring it to the pessimists.
Right.
Let the pessimists distill and break it down and tell us everything wrong with our ideas. Then we'll come back to the optimists and say, here's what the pessimist said. We need to solve these problems. Then we solve these problems and take them back to the pessimist.
Yeah, just going back and forth and refining it.
Yeah. And then when the pessimist is like, I can't find nothing wrong, the group of pessimists, I can't find nothing wrong, then we know we got a solution.
Yeah.
The problem is the pessimists
Checks
and
and
the
balances
fighting each other.
Yeah.
Instead of working together.
Yep.
Okay.
Checks and balances. And I mean, going back to the left, I mean, it's just funny because they scream so much about being tolerant and being progressive or whatever, but in reality, they're probably some of the most intolerant people there are. You know what I mean?
Totalitarian.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. Anti-freedom, tyrants. globalist, socialist, communist
Yep.
scum. They are often atheists. They do not take God into their life. They are anti-church. Look at the lockdowns, what they did to church.
Yeah. Anyone that doesn't share their belief system, like right now, what you said, I might not agree with all of it, but I'm not going to sit here and try to like write it off and be like, no, I'm gonna listen and take it in and be like, oh man, you know. And I think that's very important to be able to look at things from an open mind, and being tolerant is actually very important. Not just talking about it, saying I'm progressive. Then when someone else presents another ideology that might not align with your belief system, get mad and demonize. I mean, let's look at, you know, former President Donald Trump. Everybody, you know, decided, oh, let's just hate on him because it's the cool thing to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hating on Trump. That was like the cool thing to do. It was like, you want to be progressive and cool, and, you know, you want to put a black screen on your IG. A part of this is you need to fit this narrative and also hate Donald Trump and call him all these other things. And it's like, hey, what you guys don't know is under his presidency, the economy improved. You know, no one could have, you know, accounted for, you know, the beer bug and everything else like that. But it's irrefutable that the economy did improve.
Donald Trump was the greatest thing that happened to the black community. He was the greatest thing out of the white power structure that happened to the black community. I'm gonna say that one more time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know people are gonna be like, what?
Donald Trump is the greatest thing that happened for many different reasons. What we have to understand is Donald Trump was like the little brother of the oligarchs that was never allowed at the lunch table, who somehow became president.
Right? I like that reference.
Like he's part of that upper class, but he was never really sitting at the table. And as a black person, the one thing you would want is something that disrupts this so-called system. They like to say, oh, it's a system of white supremacy. Well, you would want somebody who's not of that system politically, just to disrupt it long enough to get your thing together.
Right.
You wouldn't want somebody who's of that breed and stock, who's, you know, a polished politician who's just down with the agenda. You see it now with the black liberals complaining about the people that Biden is selecting for his cabinet.
Yep.
Well, what do you think from a career politician was going to happen? This is why we like Donald Trump, because he wasn't a career politician. I've been asking my whole life, when are we going to have a president that wasn't a career politician? And when I saw Donald Trump pop up, I'm like, that's my guy. He's not a career politician. That's perfect, because that throws a wrench in the whole system. It sets everything back. Whether he loves black people or hates black people does not matter. It's irrelevant. The fact that he's not bred to be part of that political system is enough to throw a monkey wrench in so-called white supremacy or the state or whatever system you want to call it. He's the best thing that happened to all of America.
Yeah, by the way, the chat's loving you, man. They said, love this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's 100% speaking facts.
Shout out to the chat, yo. The chat is the wave, man. It's the real love.
Like the video, guys, because, you know, you need thought-provoking content like this. You know, obviously you guys know us for talking about the sexual marketplace, girls, dating, you know, fitness, male self-improvement. But, you know, thought-provoking shows like this where you're able to bring in another perspective is awesome. We got a caller. All right, we'll answer the calls. We'll go for a little bit longer, guys, and then get on our Patreon, patreon.com/freshfit, where we're going to continue the conversation on a Zoom call with all our $50 and $97 tier patrons. If you guys want to talk to Hotep Jesus, he's been so gracious to hang out with us for a little bit longer. And then we got the webinar with DMs on Demand, where we're going to teach you guys how to increase your social following for today's scheduled call. But Zoom call for patrons only, $50 and $97 tier. Hotep Jesus in the house. Let's hit this caller. What area code, Chris? 224. And by the way, we're going to give Chris a mic on the next show. So you guys are he's going to be involved more. We got a new mixer. 224, you're on the air with Hotep Jesus and Fresh Prince CEO Myron Gaines. What's up, man?
Caller, you are on the air. Caller, talk to us. You are on the air. What's up?
And we know it definitely works because we can hear it's on.
These
I guess they're just prank calling us. All right, cool. We'll drop that caller. So Hotep, where can the people find you, man?
Don't find yourself.
Bam. First time I heard that one.
Find yourself. Don't find me. Find yourself. If you find yourself, you will find me. I'm only important to you if I need to be important to you. I'm only in your life if I need to be in your life. If I need to be in your life, I will be in your life. I don't want to be a part of your life. I am your life. You're my life. We exist, you or me. So don't find me. But my website is briansharp.co.
I like that one, man. That was fire.
But
now you guys know why we rock with this dude, man. We've been cracking jokes like this all the past 24 hours, man. It's been lit.
My website is briansharp.co, BRYANSHARPE.co. Get on my email list, get some riveting emails from me. Two-time author. I wrote Dominate Twitter. I wrote The Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. And I have another book coming first quarter of 2021. Hotep Nation. I write a lot of op-eds on hotepnation.com in regards to culture, race, politics, etc. So that's a good way to one of my talents is writing. It's one of my mama. I remember one time I was with my mama and we were at her boss's beach house. And I said, Mom, I had to go to the bathroom. And I said bathroom with an F sound. And my mother always forced me to speak proper English. She wanted me to speak that Queen's English.
Yeah.
And at one time I didn't. On the way home, I heard it the whole way home. How you gonna pronounce bathroom with an F? It's bathroom. You know better than that. Saying bathroom, embarrassing me in front of them good white folk like that. So I was raised, and I had a 7th grade English teacher, Miss Hibbard. Never forget her name. She was one of those old schoolhouse teachers from like the 1800s. And she said to me, it was a very difficult English class. Only 2 people got A's in her class. It was me and my homeboy. And we got A's in her class. And I was very, very good in English. In fact, I got a D in English my senior year because my teacher was a complete moron idiot. That's Miss Davy. We actually killed her. Not physically, just tormented her to death.
And I actually called that out about you. I was like, Hotep's the type of guy to fall asleep in class, know the answer when you get called on, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, I was that dude where I was testing the teacher's intellect. Yeah, I was a class clown, but I was like, I remember one time I signed up for physics my senior year, and I'm in there with a bunch of Asians, and the first test came around, and I got an A on the test. And only like 2 or 3 people got an A on the test. Yeah. So they turned around and like, haha, Brian, what'd you get?
Oh, I hate those kids.
You know what I'm saying? So I just held my test score up like that. Knowing they're like, how'd you get an A? I'm like, bro, like this shit easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah, stupid.
I'm an ascended, I'm a reincarnation of an ascended master, ma'am. But yeah, I was definitely that kid in school, man.
Big facts. We got some super chats, I think. Fresh, can you read them off?
Yes.
So, I'm running old school today with the pen and paper.
So we have right now, bunch just came in. King Life, $5. Shout out to King Life. We have Uncomfortable Truth, $10. Says, truly an awesome show. Hotep Jesus is beyond on point. Everything on point. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark.
That's love.
Thank you so much.
I'm receiving your energy right now, and I'm humbled. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna put that to good use.
Fire. We got the last one. Eddie LM, $10 says, this is for the fire content. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. We're diversifying, guys. We bring on guests from all different walks, man. We ain't just gonna be sitting here in an echo chamber talking about RP vernacular, if you know what I'm talking about, man. We bring guys from everywhere, and obviously, Hotep has many different talents, as you guys could see.
Yeah.
From rapper to entrepreneur, startup business, record label owner,
writer,
podcaster, writer.
Yeah.
Marketer, marketing genius. Based on he gave us some crazy strategies.
Yeah.
We got a couple callers. Man, you callers always want to come on.
3 callers. Nah, take them fresh. Let's see what they got.
Bro.
You guys are lucky, man. Let's do it. Hotep wants to do it. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Just because Hotep.
Let's see what we got.
All right, 224, you're on the air. We got you.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
We got you.
We hear you.
Welcome to the show.
All right, I'm going to go because I'm not listening to the show, but I wanted to tune in on what Hotep had said regarding the unity of the world and his philosophies there. I came across a story not too long ago, and I wanted to share it. It's in regards to a monk that was traveling in California, and he was visiting the redwood trees. And the monk was going off by himself, and he came across this forest ranger speaking to these teenagers regarding the redwood trees. Now, the redwood trees are some of the longest living, if not the longest living trees that we have in existence. They've lived thousands of years, but it's kind of a mystery because the soil that they're built on is very loose. It's not optimal for building trees, right? So the secret to the redwoods is that they are all intertwined with each other. How they get their strength is actually through their roots. They entangle themselves with the nearby trees. Every single redwood is entangled with another redwood. And through that unity, they have strength. And that strength allows them to go on for thousands of years, right? They're not in competition with each other. They're one unified structure, and they can build on this loose soil. It's not the branches that keep them together. If the branches were intertwined, it wouldn't do much good. It's the roots. It's the roots of us. It's our hearts. It's our soul. That if we intertwined with one another, we would be stronger.
I'm still.
So I just wanted to share that
that's
wisdom
mine.
I heard from a monk.
That's mine. Now. What's your name?
A dedicated monk, and thought that went really well with what you were saying.
What's your name? Can he hear me?
I don't believe so. Yeah, he should be able to hear.
Can you hear me, caller 204? I don't know what your name is. I appreciate that comment. I'm still in that analogy. That's tough.
Sorry, Hotep. My name is Paul. I know I like listening to the show and talking at the same time.
Paul.
I'm actually one of the patrons on Myron's podcast here.
Nice. Thank you for the support.
Thank you, Paul.
I go by
for that.
Absolute Drone on the chat, so they know me, but
yeah,
my name's Paul.
I'm still in that. Thank you.
All right.
Bachelor Paul. Okay, cool.
Thank you, Paul.
He's in Telegram chat.
Yeah. No, Paul, thank you for that, man. We're gonna run to the next caller. We'll take these next two calls and then we'll get off the air. 818.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Cam?
Cameron. I can't hear you guys. Cam from LA, by the way. I can't hear you guys on the podcast. I just want to mention something to Hotep Jesus, and I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I wanted to ask you about this. As Myron is saying, these are very thought-provoking comments that you're making. It's a breath of fresh air in the spirit that we tune into all the time. So I want to thank you for that. And I wanted to also ask you this. So I believe in no victim mentality at all. I mean, I'm a Middle Eastern. My family came from the Middle East, and they built a great business for themselves. And I'm, living a prosperous life thanks to their help, and of course with my initiative as well to build the business better for them. And I wanted to ask you this because I've mentioned this before when other cultural racial groups, they say like we are victims of this and so on. I mean, I could fall into that category easily and say like people are racist, people are against me because I'm not white or whatever the case may be. And I wanted to see what are your thoughts on groups that and I have nothing against these groups at all, but I just wanted to like see what your thoughts were on people who, use this kind of like as a way to just as a crutch to like not improve the quality of their life due to this, let's say thoughts that they're having. That's the end of my question. And thank you.
Thanks, Cam. Good question.
First of all, I just want to correct you. You do have a problem with these groups. You don't got to put no disclaimer on Freshandfit. This is a safe space, sir. But yeah, I totally agree. So the only way I can answer that question is to tell you the story. And basically, really quick, it goes like this. I was broke and I was sitting down thinking about communism, socialism, and the white man. And I was like, communism, socialism could be the way. Let me think about this. And I thought about it. And it shit didn't make sense. No matter how hard I thought about it, it just didn't make sense. I'm like, and I'll tell you where it started. I said, how do we get everyone a PlayStation? And I thought about it. I was like, oh, that's impossible. The only way to do it is through capitalism.
Yeah.
You got to buy that damn thing.
Especially a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Things hard to find nowadays.
You're not going to be able to socialize a PlayStation to everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's finite amount of resources, finite amount of people that want to work. And how do you force people to want to work? I'm like, oh, we got to force people to work? I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I realized real fast that communism, socialism was a way because I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And then I said, what's going to make my situation better? Complain about the white man? No, probably not. It hasn't worked to this day. And then I said,
they're keeping us down, bro. What are you talking about?
so I thought about it and I was like, if I'm going to change the situation, it's going to be me.
Damn.
Ain't nobody going to save me but me.
Right.
Because my
Facts.
baby mom's cussing me out in another room. My parents cussing me out over the phone. My bank account cussing me out and complaining about the white man ain't going to pay the bills. And I got a daughter and twin boys on the way. I was like,
Congratulations.
I got to hustle. So
Yeah.
I got on that computer and I hustled my way. And here I am.
BrianSharp.co, guys, right? That's what it was?
BrianSharp.co.
Yeah, man.
That's a good story, man.
Bam.
We got super chat here as well.
Uh-huh.
Once again, Uncomfortable Truth, $20 says, this is for the overtime, guys. Great content. Good call also.
Thank you so much.
seconds.
So with that, guys, we're going to close the show. Hotep, thank you so much for coming on, man. Any last words for the people before we close this awesome episode of the Fresh and Fit podcast?
These dudes take care of you. When you come into town, these dudes take good care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Myron's like security. You come there, Hotep Jesus out here, whooping your ass.
Dude, I was about to fight a homeless guy yesterday for Hotep, bro. Real talk. I got tight. We're at a restaurant and dude came up and I was like, bro, get out of here. I was like, chill, man. I was like,
60 seconds.
But nah, great time. Thank you for having me, man.
no, man, it's been great. And we got some stuff in the works, man. Rolo, I'm gonna hit you up and we'll see if we can make some magic happen, man. But yeah, this will not be the last time you guys see Hotep Jesus in the Freshfit podcast. It's gonna be a revolving thing you guys see.
And Fresh takes the best videos ever.
Instagram, brother. Instagram, man.
Yeah, man. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, we're going to jump on a call right now with the patrons. Get on patreon.com/freshfit. We're going to have a conversation with Hotep. We'll go for about 45 minutes or so. With patrons, $50, $97 tier. If you guys want to get in the conversation, patreon.com/freshfit. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you on Thursday at 6 p.m. right here live. We got a special guest. We'll announce it in the next couple of days. Thank you guys and peace.
Peace.